Hey friends, I'm Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. And yeah, every day is the most annoying day of my life. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Canon software shit the bed again. And then Stream Deck software died again. OBS wouldn't work. I don't get it. I don't get it. In the chat, FPV Toast, Frank Nicholas, Curtis Hayes, Cloud Hopper, Smoking Dog, Cujo, Spaceman Spiff, Stuff with Caleb, McMucus, Bob Bruce, Scotty Scott, Curtis Hayes, Siskel, Douglas Six. Half these people probably aren't still here. It's 36. It's 10:36. It's taken me 36 minutes to even get this remotely working. So if you're still here, that's super cool of you. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Even I don't want to be here right now. I'm doing this for you guys. Okay. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for sticking around. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know. I don't know. Everything was fine until a couple weeks ago when I got tired of every single piece of software that I had screaming at me to update. And I updated a couple of them, and now it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. And now it's like, it's just on a whole other level of bad at this point. So I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to start like prepping for the stream like 2 hours ahead of time to reinstall the software or something. I don't get it, man. This is absolutely insane. Tonight I'm gonna attempt to compare a bunch of these TinyWhoop cameras. This is a really cool little setup that Kevin Sumner put together for me. Massive shout out to him for doing this. And in order to do that, I'm gonna put the video through a VTX with OSD so that it's as close to reality as possible. You know, these cameras actually going through the OSD chip into a VTX, out the antenna, into a receiver. So yeah, and I think I'm gonna do that on this AIO. I believe this is the AIO that's been giving me problems. And so we're going to fly it real quick. Hopefully you guys flew your 6 batteries today. If not, join me. Yeah. Let's dive into that, and maybe that'll make me feel way worse. Sometimes flying makes me feel better. Sometimes it makes me feel way worse. Mick Mucus, thank you for the super chat, brother. Says never give up. You're a real pro. Thank you. You're certainly welcome. All right, so we're motherfucker. Hang on. Unplugging every single thing on Earth and replugging it back in. All right. My God, man. All right, so let's see if this is the rig that is having those weird issues. All right, there's a bunch. Yeah, okay. Yeah, something ain't right. See all those yaw twitches? I can hear them. Yeah, so this X12 must be on its way out. This is also the X12 that that if I plug USB in and connect it to Betaflight, like right now, for example, it'll connect to Betaflight fine. But if I unplug it and plug it back in, it won't show up in Betaflight, which is not something that happens on Macs. But then if I wait a couple of hours and plug it back in, it's fine again. Just for that one... It's just so weird, man. There's obviously something going on with it. But it's not doing that weird thing that it was... Don't you fucking dare. Tonight's not the night to fall back behind there! Oh, boy. I'm looking for the AIO that wasn't spinning the motor up. Just fucking eat it, Teddy. I don't even give a shit anymore. Just eat the goddamn thing. Destroy it. Please. Do me a favor. Why is it not doing the thing where it won't spin the one motor up? I could have sworn it was... I'm hoping that it's this AIO because it's doing all this weird yaw twitch nonsense. Well, I guess maybe it's not. All right, hold on. I'm gonna put this aside because it is. I don't know. I am so confused. This is like the fourth. I think this is the fourth rig that I've got that it misbehaves at first, and then as soon as I start to try to troubleshoot it, it stops misbehaving. It's like, I don't know. I have no idea. None of this makes any sense anymore. Like, I used to be really good at troubleshooting stuff, but like, all of a sudden, nothing's making any sense. So, I'm pretty sure this ain't the rig. So, one of these, the other day, 2 live streams in a row, actually, somebody reminded me of. One of the motors won't reliably spin, as if, like, there's an ESC channel dying. And one of the best ways to bring that out is to arm it and disarm it like this. But it was happening in the air, too. So, this is the rig on the 2G4. A little sloppy, but we got in there. It's not this one. This one's totally fine. This one flies great. Oh boy. Oh boy. This one's fine. Is it this other one with the? I swear to God, it was one of the ones with the. Does anybody remember? It's the one that was doing the little dance on the ground. I think it was Off Axis was saying that it was breakdancing. This is the build on the VCI motors. I don't think it was this one. Might be this one though. Hey, there it is. Oh, yep. This is the one. This is the one. Okay. Yeah, okay. So we're going to use this. So this X12 is officially dead. Maybe it'll catch on fire. Okay, so it's the right front. It is indeed the right front. Okay, so this is kind of perfect because this X12 I'm sorry. These motors are just beat to death because of the 1mm motor shaft. So this is great. This whole rig can come apart and not really go back together. I've done enough testing. We're fine. All right, cool. So this is the AIO that I'm going to use to test video, and then to plug into these cameras, I should say. And then yeah, I'll throw it in the goddamn river. Now I'll put it. I'll put another set of motors on it and see if I don't know. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Look, I'm gonna do this camera test, and then I gotta go. I'm just not in a headspace to be I don't know. I can't even fucking form sentences right now. I'm so angry. I really try hard not to be angry, but I take this seriously. Like, you guys support the shit out of me, and a lot of you have for a long time, and that's like incredible, and you deserve a fucking good show for that. And yeah. All right. If anybody else is gonna buy VCI 0802.8 motors and you want a bunch of banged up ones, I don't know what else to do with these motors. The motor shafts are bent enough that there's a bunch of not jello, just vibrations in the footage. Let the tech rage flow through you. Cold Power says. Yeah. These motors are beat to hell, but if you've got or are going to be buying a set of these motors, this would probably be a nice set to have like as backups, because the stators are totally fine. So if you ever ended up cooking a stator, you'd be good to go. So if anybody wants this set of VCI motors, let me know. Or if you just want to know what an 802.8 27,000 kV motor flies like, you know, like these motors work, and they fly great. I mean, you've seen me fly them ad nauseum at this point, I guess, but yeah, let me know. Boy, oh boy. Emotions are something else, are they not? Kind of miss the days that I just turned it all off. Cloudhopper with a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, appreciate your hard work. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate that. Yeah, emotions are something else, dude. Something fucking else. When they're good, they're good. But boy, when they are bad, they make me want to burn this whole shit down. All right, so I've got an X12 AIO. I'm going to plug a micro V into it. And it's got a camera plug. And I'm just going to go right down the line and just plug each one of these cameras in. Take a screenshot. I'm going to run OBS full screen. I'm going to take a screenshot. And then we'll talk about what each of the cameras is. And yeah, try to figure this out. Try to figure out what the best TinyWhoop camera is. For me, the best TinyWhoop camera is the RunCam Nano 3 because it's so lightweight and because I have a few of them. unfortunately, they no longer manufacture that camera. And so it's really not the best camera anymore. Because you can't get the damn thing. You can't get your hands on it. Again, another massive shout out to Kevin Sumner for building this little 3D printed thing and rewiring all the cameras so that they have the right camera cable on them. He was going to do this test, and then he just got super busy and gave it to me at Castle Crash. And here we are. So yeah, huge shout out to him. He put the majority of the work in here. I'm just coming in after the fact and getting to be the hero that shows you guys the footage from them. I'm gonna point them all at the toolbox here. I'm cutting off some double-sided tape so I can stick this thing down to the desk so it doesn't move. I'm gonna point it at the workbench. I'm hoping that they're wide enough angle that they can pick up. We're gonna do a lights on and a lights off test, and yeah, there's gonna be like a direct. There's gonna be lights pointing directly at this, which is gonna really stress these the dynamic range of these cameras out, as if you're flying outside, right? Like the lights on test is gonna be. And I'm actually going to turn this up as bright as it'll go. The lights on test will be mimicking outdoor flying, where you've got a really bright sky in the top of the frame and then a not so bright ground below the frame. And then the lights off test is going to be basically like flying inside the house. It's not going to be like an all lights off test, but it's going to be I'm turning the direct light off test, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. So yeah, I'm going to stick this. I'm actually going to square it up on the workbench here and stick it down. All right. That ain't going anywhere. Cool. And so now I'm going to take this light here and I'm going to put it up there. So like this, I'm holding this camera now in front of the seat, right? And so they're going to be pointing up like that. And then so this, oh, awesome. I was hoping these would be in there as well. Great. So this, as well as the studio flat lights there, should be in the frame because these are pretty wide angle. And that's perfect. And then we've got loads of detail here that we can hopefully tell a difference. Stuff like Nightwing's logo here, if that's readable versus not readable. Yeah, should be really good. Keep a couple quads in the foreground here, just to take a look at like how focused they are or aren't. And yeah, cool, should be good. So I'm not going to tell you what is what. I'm just going to plug them in and do the screenshot thing. And then afterwards, we will take a look at which one is which. You know what I am going to do, though? I'm going to DVR this with the HD0 goggles. And then in the DVR, we can take screenshots of that, too. That removes the VTX from the equation, which is kind of cool. So let me get that going. Let me get these HD0 goggles over here, and I will turn them on. All right, so that's good. Teddy is here helping me, or not, or hindering. Helping and or hindering. Hey, look, I'm on the corner of the thing there. Okay, so you know what? I'm not going to take screenshots from OBS. I'm just going to let the DVR do its thing, and then we'll play the DVR, and we'll take screenshots from the DVR because, yeah, that's better. That's a better way of doing this. So, oh, balls. This camera is sideways. Problem number one. Okay, so let's get this camera fixed. They're just double side taped on. Is that right side up? Yes, it is. Okay, so we've got that guy right there. And again, we're not going to talk about what the camera is. That is somewhat a low light test. All right. I don't know what that beeping is. Oh, it's the transmitter. Let's turn that off. All right, so that was camera A. Here comes camera B. This AIO is going to get hot as shit, I can tell. I can't pick up the wire because I have rabies. Come on, man. Get in there. Come on, get in there. In theory, it's still the DVR should still be recording. I can't plug this in. I don't know what's happening. Like, all I have to do is put the plug into the receptacle and push, but for some reason it's just not going. Maggie and I hit the end of the first season of Dexter last night. It's just the greatest show of all time. I can't get it in the hole, friends. I don't know what's happening here. Camera B is about to get told to go fuck itself. There it is. Got it. What was that? What was that about? What the hell just happened? What? Oh, okay. I think the wires are not in the right spot on that one. So that's camera B. I think that camera is shorted. We'll talk about that in a minute. Here comes camera C. Oh shit, I think camera C is shorted too. What's happening? Let's try camera D. Okay, camera D works. This is insane. Alright, camera D works. We've got bright light. Alright. Let's go to... Alright, so B and C, something's going on. I gotta figure that out. This is now E. I will say this. Happy Model has built-in anti-whatever protection, which is kind of nice, into their AIOs. Alright, so that's camera E. Light off, light on. This AIO is getting hot. Camera F. Here comes camera F. Ah, shitters. Another one that's sideways. Let me peel it off here. Rotate it around. Camera F might look familiar to the keen-eyed. Hold on. Now that I know which direction it needs to point in, I can fix that. All right, this is camera F again. Is that right way up? Yeah, it is. Okay, so let me just get it stuck down here. And there we go. All right, there's camera F. Light on, light off. Camera F is darker. Right. And then we've got G. It was only B and C that weren't working so far, right? Okay, G is also effed up. G is shorted. And then we've got H. Here comes H. H is not shorted. Awesome. All right, and that's camera light off, and now that's light on. All right. That's all I can do. B, C, and I want to say G are... I don't know what's going on with them. Super weird. Cool. So I've now got a bunch of DVR on here that we're going to take a look at, because that's going to be the cleanest possible signal for us to really compare these two. Yeah, you guys got it right on the RunCam Nano. It's so obvious. But that's one of the purple ones. They're not all purple like that. All right. So let's take a look. SanDisk Gold 32 movies. And so let's see. Is there just one giant file? Of course not. It broke it up into all separate files. That's actually okay. So this would be H here. Cam H. I don't really need to do that. Let's just go back to the beginning, and I think there will be one somewhat long file. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, there's 5 different files. That's okay. New folder, cam test. Okay. Here we go. So this is camera A. Camera A is the 199C. I believe it's made by HGLRC. Don't quote me on that. But this is the 199C camera. So there's me getting it set. Get your fat fingers out of there. Past Ciotti. There we go. All right. Quick screenshot action here. And okay. So that is the 199C. What? Why is this happening? Why did it take... Oh, I hit the wrong screenshot button. Cam test, screenshot. Okay. 199C. On. Nope. 199C -1 and then -2 is with the lights off. Okay. All right. So that's the 199C. Let's keep going here. What the hell? There we go. 199C-2. All right. Next up, we've got camera B, which wasn't working. And then we're going to have camera C, which wasn't working either. I think what's going on is that the wires are switched. That's my best guess as to what's going on with this. All right, so now we're into file number 14, and this gave us nothing. I think that's camera C that's being jacked up. Next up, D. All right, great. So this is camera D. Let's go full screen. Camera D is... It looks like the BetaFPV CO3. All right, there's the light on. Got some good colors off on the right side too. This is cool. This works. This setup totally works. All right, BetaFPV CO3. Come on, turn the light off. What? Oh, the light was off in the beginning. There we go. Great. And got it. So that's going to be CO3-1. With the lights on, right? Yeah, wow, there's a huge difference between those two. Holy hell. Come on. There we go. CO3-2. Look at the difference between these two. Hold on, ready? Look at this difference. CO3, 199. Holy hell. The difference in field of view is outrageous. This is the CO3. It is pointing down a little bit more. If you look at like where the toolbox is, like I'm just putting my finger where the eyes of the toolbox are. The toolbox is now down farther. Oh wait, no, the field of view is just massive on the 199. Yeah, no, they're at the same angle. They are indeed at the same angle. It's just a huge difference in field of view, especially the vertical field of view. The horizontal field of view is not that much different. Look on the right side here. Look on the right side at the door, all the way over here, right? Watch the door. This is the 199. This is the CO3. See how the door is basically in the same spot? It moves up and down, but it doesn't move left or right. And now look at the left side here, where this second monitor is. Ready? This is the 199C. Here comes the CO3. I mean, okay, so the CO3 does have a little bit less on the horizontal field of view, but the vertical field of view is ridiculous. That is huge. All the way, it's showing the wire run into that little module versus this is cutting off halfway through the damn. Wow. That's a huge difference. So these are the two lights off tests here, and then lights on. Roughly the same. Wow, no. The 199 is way blown out. Look how blown out this is compared to that. Jeez. Okay. Huge difference. All right. Cool. In my opinion, the 199 is not the camera to go with, but let's just keep going. So this is the CO3. Testing. Now, all right, so that was D, and now we're going to E, which is a Flywoo camera. So this is now E with the light on. Got a little screenshot going here. Okay. And let's play it until I turn the light off. There we go. Give it a second to adjust. All right. I'm going to look at exactly what camera this is in a second. Okay, so this is Flywoo's. I don't know. It's got screw mounting on the outside. Hold on. Flywoo TinyWhoop camera. See what that finds. Yep, this is it. Flywoo 1S Nano. What is that? Let me just make sure this is it. Yep, this is it. Flywoo 1S Nano. What a weird name. Flywoo 1S Nano. I guess I can call this the Flywoo Nano. Flywoo Nano is what I'm going to call this. All right. Flywoo Nano -1. Hold on. Yeah, because that's the lights on file. Flywoo nano -2. All right, great. Let's take a look at these guys. The 199 can basically go to hell at this point. It just looks so ridiculous. Whoa, that is pretty similar right there. Flywoo Nano CO3. Nano Flywoo CO3. The colors definitely shift. Man, being able to read Nightwing's what a difference. With the webcam, we could read Nightwing right here, but these are both just complete blurs. Oh, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reverse this naming convention. I'm going to go 1- for the lights ons, and this way I can just shuffle between them. 1-. Yeah. And then this is a subtle thing, but it'll make a difference. 1-. All right, cool. And then these guys, we're going to go 2. And right. 2. Oh, I'll take that other 2 out of there. I will try to troubleshoot the cameras that aren't powering on, but let's work with what we got first. There we go. So now I can just shuffle up and down between them. All right, so lights on tests. CO3 Flywoo, CO3 Flywoo, CO3 Flywoo. So, wow, they're very similar. The Flywoo is the brighter camera. Darker, CO3, Flywoo brighter. The one thing that I mainly care about is how much detail these are going to provide, and that's why, like, what I'm really looking at in this test is the workbench. To take a look, like we don't. It's weird, like as an FPV camera, like you don't want to evaluate it like a normal, like an HD camera. You want to just think like, well, I mean, I guess it kind of depends though. For most people, you just want to focus on like what's going to give you the most information. CO3, Flywoo, as a pilot. But then like I'm starting to do this weird shit where I chase the little drift cars with these analog cameras, and so for that use, it does kind of matter. Oh my god, look at the 199. Look how awful it is. There's like no detail. I mean, it's so far zoomed out that like of course you're gonna lose detail on the workbench, but still, like, look at coexist through in the middle here. It's just like baka on the 199. On these two, you can at least see something's going on here. I don't necessarily think that either one of these makes a significant enough difference in like detail, although the Flywoo is more saturated. There's more color coming through. Like look in the middle here, at the nut grabber sticker right above coexist. See how it's like a little bit red and orange? When I go up to the CO3, it's just there's like nothing there. So the CO3 is definitely a lot less saturated, at least with reds. And you can really see it, like the toolbox here. This is more what the toolbox looks like. It's brown. This still looks brown. That's an interesting difference. Let's keep going. Did that file play? What happened here? Oh, no. I dragged it off to the other screen. All right. So that was the Flywoo camera. Lights on, lights off, lights on. All right, E. Great. So now we're going to F. Okay, here's F. Oh yeah, right. F was sideways. Oh yeah, F is the RunCam Nano 3. Yeah, that was weird. It disconnected like that. All right, here's F. RunCam Nano 3. Oh my god, look at the difference in. There's a difference in detail for sure. Hold on. I think. Oh no, once I blow it up, it goes away. It's just because it was smaller. Okay. Lights on, CO3. Wow, you can really see the purple in the top left. That's brutal. All right. Lights on. Lights off. All right, so this is our beloved RunCam Nano 3, significantly lighter weight, which is a huge deal, but can't get them anymore. So we've got 1 dash RunCam Nano, and then 2 dash RunCam Nano. Let me add a 3 on there. All right, here we go. I'm super excited for this. RunCam Nano 3. Oh boy. Yikes. All right, so boy, oh boy, is it dark. Jeez. Wow, it looks awful. It looks awful. Whoa. I think that the non-purple ones maybe don't look that awful. Look at the size of the toolbox though. It's also less it's also zoomed in basically. It's less wide angle, right? See how small the toolbox looks there? Look, ready? The toolbox is going to get closer. Bang. It didn't actually get closer, but yeah. So and when that happens, when it zooms in, you are going to get a little bit more detail. I am seeing more detail on the toolbox. Like look at Coexist, you can actually almost start to see some of the lines in here. When I go up to the Flywoo, you really kind of can't. Like the nut grabber, oh, perfect example. I can actually see NUT right in here, right above Coexist. Whereas when I go here, it's just a big blur. This is the CO3. Again, it's just a big blur. This is the 199. It's nuclear. But again, that's probably because it's probably because of less field of view on the RunCam Nano 3. But what's interesting about that is that's going to happen when you're flying. The camera that's more zoomed in, the camera with a lens that is, yeah, I'll just keep saying more zoomed in. I sound like a buffoon, but it's the truth. A camera with less field of view, there we go. You are going to be able to see farther out. So you are going to get more detail from the stuff. So if you're trying to line up a really small little gap, you will see it earlier on the camera that has less field of view, as long as the lens isn't garbage. What's always blown me away about the RunCam Nano 3 is that the lens is awful. Like, it's this horrible little piece of plastic for the lens. And yet I can read the nut in Nut Grabber on that camera, and I can't on the other two. Let's keep going. We've got, well, G is about to fail, but then we've got one more after G. So this is going to be G shitting the bed. But then we've got one more. The very last one is... What is that? I don't actually know what that is. Cheetonian with a $5 super chat says, this is super interesting. Thanks for pushing through the issues. Thank you, dude. This last one is a... The fuck is this one? What are you? I don't know. I'm going to have to pull it off of there. Hold on. Let me at least get the screenshots. Whoo, it looks weird. Oh, it's super wide angle. Boy, is that wide angle. Okay, we got another 199 style, 199C style camera here. Get this screenshot real quick. And turn off. Oh, that's light off, and now it's light on. All right, great. All right, so let me see what this last one is. because I need to know what to name the file. All right, so that's all of them. This last little buddy, I'm gonna have to use the 5x loop. Oh, I wasn't showing the monitor just now. Sorry, guys. I'll show you the screenshots in a second. It's a tiny little guy. It's got a date stamped on it. I don't know what the camera this is. What are you, little fella? It's a wee little guy. I think this is an FXT. I think I can see on the bottom it says it's got a bunch of liquid electric tape that's kind of covering up the silk screening on it, but I believe this is an FXT. Hold on. I mean, yeah, so it's like there's like a stick. That has to say FXT. Man, I didn't realize that the FXT was so wide angle though. Right? Oh wait, does it have the holes in the corners? Okay, so this does not have the holes in the corners. It might still, so it's not the new FXT that comes on the I think this is the TinyWhoop Pinch cam. All right, let's investigate. Let's go to TinyWhoop. Really? You didn't guess that I wanted to go to TinyWhoop? How dare you, browser? Where are your cameras, Jesse? Ugh. Cameras and VTXs. Pinch standard FOV. I'm pretty sure this is it. Pretty sure this is it. 3 on the top, yellow on the left. Yup. 3 pins there. Yup. Oh yeah, I can see. Yeah. The liquid electric tape. Yep. Okay, so that is a TinyWhoop Pinch standard. Standard wide field of view is the last camera. There. All right, cool. Let me stick it back on. And I think I'm putting it on there upside down, but that's okay. Okay, so last 2 screenshots. Off and on. So we're gonna go 2-TinyWhoop Pinch. And then we're gonna go 1-TinyWhoop Pinch. Perfect. So, come on. There we go. TinyWhoop Pinch. Wow. So these are opposites. This is the least field of view. This is one of the most field of views. Let's compare this to the 199C. It's a tough comparison because the one of them is, if I put my finger here where the top of the toolbox is, one of them is pointing down a little bit more. This one's pointing down a little more than the 199C. So let's look at the width, the field of view on the width. Oh yeah, the 199 is wider. Jeez, the 199 is wider. Yeah. All right, so now we're going to do, this is the Pinch, TinyWhoop Pinch. Now this is the Flywoo Nano. It's, okay, so compared to the field of view is not that much different. All right, TinyWhoop Pinch compared to the CO3. Ready? Pinch, CO3. Pinch, CO3. Pinch. So it is definitely wider. For sure it's wider field of view. But it's not that much wider. Why does it look so much wider? if you look at the, wow, and it's almost like, all right, so look at the door off on the right. Ready? This is the CO3. This is the pinch. The door is in the same spot. Still on the pinch. Now look at the left. Look at, this is my main monitor. Ready? Watch this. CO3. CO3 might have more horizontal field of view, but then the vertical field of view is way different, right? So you got the webcam up on top here. You're on the CO3 now. Here's the pinch. So we've got more. The pinch has more vertical field of view. Back to the CO3. Look at the bottom of the screen. Actually, the bottom of the screen doesn't really help, but look at where this 75mm whoop is. Ready? So this is the pinch, and now the CO3. See how it's kind of in the same, roughly the same spot? Wow. Yo, wow, these cameras are so different. I've really I've mainly been thinking about, so these are all the lights on tests. I've mainly been thinking about cameras from the perspective of like what they look like, but I never realized there's such a massive difference in the field of views. I'm blown away by how similar the CO3 and the Flywoo Nano are. Those are the two that I'm bouncing back and forth here on. I'm willing to bet that the CO3 and the Flywoo Nano use the exact same lens, and they've got the exact same distance between the lens and the sensor. But then all of the rest of these are drastically different in terms of like where things are in the frame, right? Like these are all pointing in pretty much the exact same direction at the exact same angle. But like think about trying to line up a gap, right? Like think like you're trying to line up, all right, so over here, right? Between the arm of the magnifying light thingy and this little well, fuck it. Pretend like you're trying to go through the newbie drone gates on the top right here, right? Pretend like you're trying to shoot this gap, right? So this is the Flywoo Nano. I'm going to leave my mouse pointer right here, dead center on this gap. I go up to the CO3. It's off a little bit. The gap has moved up and right. Go to the 199. It's way off. The gap has moved down a ton. All right, back to the CO3. Back to the Flywoo. Now I'm going to put my clicker in the middle here. I'm going to go down to the RunCam Nano 3. RunCam Nano 3, I can't even see the fucking gap. But I can just barely see it. It has moved up and right. And now the TinyWhoop Pinch, now the gap has moved to the left a little bit. And so, like, with each one of these cameras, when you're flying, and when you're, if you're, I mean, dead center, it's probably not going to be that different. But typically, like, you spot the gap somewhere else. You spot the gap high, low, left, right, and in a diagonal, and then you turn into that gap to line up for it. Every single one of these cameras, that process is going to be totally different, which I've always noticed that, like, so the camera that I fly the most is the RunCam Nano 3, as you guys all know. The big thing that I notice every time I fly a different camera is lining up gaps changes. Like, just my flying drastically changes, and that's the main like adjustment that I have to make. And this really drives that point home. The amount of fisheye and the way that it's fisheyeing, and just straight up the field of view. Like the field of view on the Flywoo Nano and the CO3 are very similar, but the rest of these are all over the goddamn place. That is wild. Let me TinyWhoop Pinch. Well, and see, and when with the TinyWhoop Pinch, it's so wide that the detail is like brutal in here, right? Like Coexist, hold on, sorry. Coexist is super blurry. We go up to the Nano 3 and we can perfectly read Coexist. Part of that is because of the field of view, but still, the field of view is actually, wow, okay. These two cameras are a perfect example of this. The field of view is actually not all that different. Again, look at the left, the left side of the monitor here. Ready? This is the Pinch, RunCam Nano 3. I'm almost picking up the left side of that monitor, not quite, but and now look at the door. Look at the red and purple lamp over here. Ready? Nano 3 onto the Pinch. Yeah, it moves in a little bit. The Pinch is for sure a little bit wider, but look at the center of the image. In the center of the image, this is the Pinch. That's the RunCam Nano. The toolbox is gigantic in the Nano 3. I'm holding my hand up like this, in the same size as the workbench. Holy cow! Wait, no, that's the wrong one. So yeah, not only is like the raw field of view changing, but essentially like the zoom in the center is changing. The Nano 3, it's almost like more zoomed in the center, whereas the Pinch is strangely like more zoomed out in the center. It's all the lenses. It's all about these lenses that they're putting on these things. It's the lens, and it's also the distance between the lens and the sensor. That is wild. Those are all the lights on. Let's take a quick look at the lights off test to see if there's anything that kind of jumps out. The 199C looking like pure ass. This is the 199C is the worst, hands down. It's all blown out. It's like there's like practically no color. It looks awful. This is the CO3. This is the Flywoo Nano. Very similar as they were with the lights on test. So we're not really learning anything there. Flywoo Nano, RunCam Nano 3. Flywoo, RunCam, Flywoo, RunCam, Flywoo, RunCam. I'll tell you what, man. I like the RunCam Nano 3 the best. It's the Flywoo and the CO3 are totally fine. Don't get me wrong. But like, I'm really surprised that the center of the frame looks so much better, even though it's dark, which you can fix in your goggles. Just turn the brightness up. And plus, this is the weird purple version of the RunCam Nano 3. Yeah, I mean, like, from an overall image standpoint, the Flywoo and the CO3 are obviously the best. But for me, like, thinking about like how I want to fly these things, this is what I want to fly. Plus, it's lighter. In fairness, I'm weighting the RunCam Nano 3 because it's so much lighter. But still, more detail. It's not too zoomed in. Like, I've been flying it forever, and I've never felt like it needs to be wider. All right, let's see what the TinyWhoop Pinch is up to. Whoa, wow, oof. Let's go between the Flywoo Nano and the TinyWhoop Pinch. It's hard to go between the RunCam Nano 3 and the TinyWhoop Pinch. They are opposite ends of the spectrum. But that was going from the TinyWhoop Pinch to the Flywoo Nano. Back to, actually, we should do this with the CO3. The CO3 is the much more popular camera. So CO3 to TinyWhoop Pinch. Ready? This is CO3, TinyWhoop Pinch. Back to the CO3. Back to the TinyWhoop Pinch. CO3. All right, so again, field of view. Look at the door. The door on the right. Ready? Same spot. Monitor on the left. Just picking up the left edge. This is the TinyWhoop Pinch. CO3. CO3 is actually wider angle. There's more on the left here. But look at the toolbox. Again, watch what happens to the toolbox. This is the CO3, TinyWhoop Pinch. Look how much farther away the toolbox looks. That's incredible. Hold on. Let me just hold my fingers up at the width of the toolbox. And CO3. Yeah, oh my god, the toolbox is so much bigger on the CO3. So the center of the image on the TinyWhoop Pinch is somehow just like zoomed out, which I feel like that's not what I want. I feel like if anything, I want the center to be zoomed in a little bit more so that once I've centered the gap that I'm trying to shoot, I can see the detail in that gap. Wow. Pinch, RunCam Nano 3. Here, let me do this for you guys. Let me go, here, hold on. Let me turn some shit off. And I'm going to go full screen, and you guys can do your own screenshots here. So I'll turn that off. And I'm going to turn that off. Is that clean now? That's clean. I'm going to leave treats for Teddy. I'll turn that off too. All right, here's a clean image. I'll go full screen, and I'm going to go through all of them. Let me move this onto the other monitor. And okay, so 199C. Again, this is so that you guys can take your own screenshots and just page up and down between them. 199C. Oh, for fuck's sake. CO3 by BetaFPV. Flywoo Nano. RunCam Nano 3. And then TinyWhoop Pinch. And I don't. There's not really. I don't need to go through the non ding dong ones, the lights off ones. Before I forget what the things were, let me turn them back on. That and then. Wow, man, I am so glad that we're doing this. The difference between these is outrageous. Okay, so B, C, and G were all not working. Let me take a quick look at them. So this is B. What's happening with you here, B? It should be fine. 5 volt is on the 5 volt. Ground is on the ground. Video is on the video. What? Why is that being weird? Oh, it's where the plugs are sitting in the pins, I'll bet. Yep. The power and the ground are reversed. Okay, got it. Hey, super important public service announcement in reference to this. These little camera, if you buy a camera and it has the right plug, the right plug, that doesn't necessarily mean that the yellow, red, and black are in the right locations. In this example, the voltage and the ground are reversed. So be careful, because I assume that not all AIOs have anti-short protection built into them. Luckily, the Happy models do. Otherwise, when I plugged this camera in, I would have blown that X12 up, which would kind of have been fine, because I think it's already blown up, but still. Let me attempt to show you guys how I've been able to reverse these pins. This is, if you think taking a motor apart's fiddly, oh boy. This is just as, if not more fiddly. It is totally doable, but what I like to do is hold it down on the desk surface. I love this silicone mat because it's a little bit grippy, and you got to make sure you get a hold of the wire that you want to remove. So, ground wire. I hold it in my index finger and my thumb, and then I use my middle finger to hold the connector down. This is going to be really difficult to show you guys. This is hard to do, like, regardless, but then to try to show you guys what I'm doing and do it is going to be super difficult. So, get it so that you can hold that wire, and then you also need to hold the connector down, and then you're going to take your thin-tipped tweezers, and all you're trying to do is lift the little plastic latch just a tiny little bit. Don't pick the plastic latch up any higher than you need because you're going to hurt it. And so on the outside, it's a little bit easier. You can just kind of dig it under there. And so you just lift it up a little bit, and then you start pulling on the wire. And now what I'm doing is I'm pushing down. I was pushing down to keep the connector in place. Don't go yanking on these super hard. But you do have to give it a little bit of juice to get it out of there. All right, and so if you go in between them, just wedge it in. You got to get it under the plastic, and you have to lift the plastic up. Shit. Sometimes this is really hard. These are not my thinnest tipped tweezers. These are. Nice fresh pair of sharp tipped tweezers are the way to go here. Get it under there, lift it up just a little bit, push down with the tweezers to keep that plug in place, and then you can pull the wire out, and there it is. And you only need to get it out a little bit. And now we're going to go to the next one. The big thing is to make sure that you've got the wire that you're going to be pulling out in between your thumb and forefinger so that as soon as you get that latch up, you can actually pull it out of there. And so dig under, and I'm pushing down a lot on the tweezers. Get that latch up a little bit. And the tweezers are going to try to catch on the little thing, and there it is. That's how to do it. And then, so now we're going to put them into the, I'm going to put the black on the, what is it? Black goes in the middle. Nerd goggles are absolutely required for that unless you have really, really, really good vision. Based nasty R word that I try not to say anymore, says thoughts on the DJI Neo. It's mind-blowing that it's only $200. I am horrified and worried that every idiot on earth is going to buy one. And with how loud, obnoxiously loud they are, I'm super worried that they're going to be like everywhere. People like having them follow them into traffic, and like I'm scared. But man, for $200, unbelievable. Just double checking that we want black. Oh no, we want black on the outside. Isn't that how this was wired? Was this wired all the way wrong? Hold on. The A camera worked, right? Yeah, the A camera worked. Yellow on the left. Red in the middle, black on the outside. Isn't that how this was wired? Maybe not. Whatever. I mean, this is the A camera worked, so this is obviously how this needs to be set up. Curtis Hayes bought a Neo. Nice. Yeah, it's super impressive piece of kit for what it is. One of the things I find most fascinating about it is if you're using it with the DJI wireless mics, it removes the sound of the quad. Super, super, super impressive stuff. I don't know if the Avata 2 does that as well, but that is awesome. I'm assuming it can do that because it knows the RPM that the motors are turning on the quad, and then so it just drops an audio filter on that, and then it can move that audio filter up and down based on the throttle. Right? It's got all the telemetry. Super cool stuff. All right, so this camera, this is a Newbie Drone BI, and it is now wired up properly. Let's go to the next one, which is a Caddx Ant, and we'll get this wired up correctly. Actually, I can just do this here. Yeah, black's on the outside. Okay. I can just do this with this little, there's a little adapter on this one. All right, I'm going to do the same thing. Pinch zoom, and okay, so yeah, black needs to be on the outside. All right, here we go. So we've got again. You gotta be ready. Don't do it with the wires all twisted up like that. So yeah, in actuality, it works better just to hold the wire with your left hand. I hadn't done this in a while. I kind of forgot about that. But right now, it's important that you push down on these tweezers because the plug needs to stay on the table. I don't think you'd be able to pull this off without a silicone mat. I think you'll have to have a silicone mat to get the grip. Otherwise, you're gonna have to like bring your middle finger around to kind of hold onto the thing. Make sure you don't start cranking on these. They have a tiny little latch on them. Itty bitty little latch. And if that latch fucks up, when you plug this in, it's going to push the wires out of it. So you got to be super gentle with these. They do take a little bit of force, though. It's weird. Like, sometimes you do have to pull on them a little bit, but you got to make sure that little latch isn't hanging up when you start really yanking on it. And there we go. Usually after you do a couple of them, you'll start to figure it out, but then you won't have to do it again for like 6 months and you'll forget, and then you get to relearn. Because like that's FPV, top to bottom. You figure shit out, but then you don't have to do it for a while, and you forget. All right, red's going in the middle now. Also, when you put these back in, make sure that they're all the way in there. This one's not all the way in. See how the metal part is hanging out a little bit? Take your little tweezers and just ram it in there. That little latch on the metal has to catch on the plastic. And then you can look in here. Look right there and you can see it. The other thing I like to do is push down on the plastic. You know, we pulled up on the plastic. Push it back down. If that plastic stays up, the same thing is going to happen. When you plug this thing in, it's going to push the pins right out of it. And you're not necessarily going to see that happen. Sometimes these really stubborn to push back in there. But just try to wiggle it around a little bit. Be patient with it. There you go. And sometimes you'll feel a little bit of a click. But basically, if you just pull, push and pull, push and pull, if that little latch is engaging on the plastic, you will not be able to push it out of here. But again, just push back down on the plastic. The nerd goggles actually allow you to see the little latches, the little metal latches, and that's super important. All right, so this one's good to go now too. And then it was camera G was the other one that wasn't working. And so camera G, what's the problem with you? Same exact issue. The ground and power are in the wrong spots. So let's just swap this one. One last go. Try to really show you guys this one. Well, now I can't see. Oh, shit, come on. I gotta be able to get. I have to be able to see. So sorry if you guys can't see for shit, but in order for me to do this, I gotta be able to focus on this. All right, so there. Angle it up just a little bit, as little as you possibly can. And then just start kind of wiggling it out. It's going slowly. It is going now. Come on. This one's fighting. You can also kind of try to give it a little nudge in here, but you got to be careful that you don't hit that little metal latch. Let's just try it again. Maybe I wasn't holding the plastic up high enough. Oh boy. There we go. There it is. Yeah, you got to get that plastic, like, yeah. You got to get the plastic up high enough. Better to get it too low and then to have to try again, because you're not hurting it in that scenario, but still. And there we go. That one was super easy. And then putting them back in, you're going to go. And when you put them back in, obviously make sure that the latch is facing the right direction, but it won't go in if you're doing it wrong. So yeah, it's you can push it all the hell you want. If that latch is not pointing in the right, if that latch is not pointing up to catch on the plastic latch, yeah, it ain't gonna work. And so it's the easy thing is, see this like horseshoe bastard? That's always going down. And the little tiny latch that catches on the plastic is on the top there. You see it? You can just barely see it. It's like that little mountain in the middle there. That has a little tiny latch on it. Once you have your nerd goggles on, you can actually see it. But yeah, it's right there. And that's what engages with the plastic bastard. Right on in there. This is doable. This is super fiddly, but it's absolutely doable. At some point, you will need to do this. Suck it up and do it. You'll get it. It's a skill that is really nice to have. These, I believe, these are JST 1.0. Pretty sure these are, yeah, 1.0s. All right. Just gave a little push and pull, and they're locked in there, so they're good to go. All right, so we got 3 more cameras to test here. And let's fire everything up. Take a look. I'm going to put this overhead light back where it was. And we got this guy. I got a battery. I don't know what's up and down on some of these, so there's going to be a tiny bit of trial and error probably, but we'll be all right. Okay, sticking the Newbie Drone BI back on here. And okay, let me pull this. I got everything I needed off that memory card. Let me delete those files just to make life a little bit easier. Okay. All right. Good. Eject. Couldn't be ejected. Well, I hate to break it to you, but I'm going to pull the memory card out, whether you like it or not. Back into the HD0 goggles. All right. Powering up. And okay. All right, here we go. So make sure this guy's turned all the way up. Yep. That guy's where he was. This here. And I was expecting more of a difference between the light on and the light off test, but it was there wasn't much going on there. All right, cool. So HD0 goggles. Are you recording yet? Yes, you are. Okay, this is camera B. This is the Newbie Drone BI. A lot of racers like this camera. Very wide angle. Oh, I've moved all this shit around. Fart. All right, tried to put some of this stuff back the way it was. Okay, let's see here. There we go. What? Why is that not working? What the hell? Black is on the outside, red's in the middle, yellow's on the right. What's your deal? What? Why did that not work? Red's in the middle, yellow's on the right. Camera might be blown up, I guess. Here's the... that's the 199C. Black, red, yellow. Okay, yeah. Black, red, yellow. Alright, Newbie Drone BI. Black, red, yellow. Yeah. What the hell? Okay, well... that one's broken. This is a Caddx Ant. Hey, there we go. All right, Caddx Ant is on there. And then we've got lights off test. Might as well keep going with that. This one we actually might see a difference between the lights on and lights off. All right. That's the Caddx Ant. Black, red, yellow. Yeah, the BI must be blown up. And then camera G, I actually don't know what this is. This might be a Foxier Razor. I think this is a Foxier Razor. And black. Hey, there we go. Okay, this is G. Lights on. Lights off. All right, cool. And we'll take a look at the newbie drone BI in a second. This is all set to go. All right, let me take a real quick look at the BI to see if something's bridged. 5x loop. It's not bridged on the front, it's bridged on the back. Yep, it's bridged on the back. Man, Happy Model's anti-short protection is earning its keep tonight. Shit. All right, let me get this solder bridge fixed real quick. You guys aren't going to be able to see it. Oh, here. There you go. Soldering iron's coming up. And yeah, so the leads come through the front of this camera, and they're this has happened to me before. It's really easy to bridge them. The pads are really, really close together. I'm actually going to have to put the nerd goggles on to be able to fix this, because I got to be able to see what I'm doing. So to break this bridge, oh wait, no, that's the back of the camera. I'm worried about the front. There we go. So to break this bridge, easiest thing to do is put a chunk of flux in between the two pads. Wow, I can't see jack. Shitty shit. Put a blob of solder in between them. Man, that ain't much better. And then you're just going to get them hot, and the solder will naturally kind of like flow away from each other. Sometimes you have to like kind of flick the tip of the soldering iron outwards a little bit, but usually you can just get them hot and they will unbridge themselves. I actually just made it way worse. See that? See how I like pulled outwards? That fixed it. It's an inexact kind of thing. What's going on is that the solder wants to flow towards the heat. Solder just does that. It's kind of cool. I remember my dad saying that was one of the things that he was fascinated by with soldering, is that the solder travels towards the heat. And so when you flick the tip of the soldering iron out like that, it pulls the solder with it. Like the solder wants to come with the tip because that's the hottest part. I don't know why, if you just move it slowly, it doesn't work as well. But yeah, if the two pads are here and they're bridged together, I put the soldering iron in between and then quickly kind of bring it out of there. Sometimes you can actually use the tip of the soldering iron to like flick the solder itself, but you don't even need to. A lot of times, just like by moving it quickly, the solder between the bridge, it wants to stick to this, and it just kind of comes out with it. It's magic. Absolute magic, my friends. All right. BI going back onto the rig. Let's see what it looks like. Get this back into position. Turn these HD0 goggles back on. Back to this. Power up the AIO. And plug in the BI. It's not stuck to the stuff yet because I don't know which direction is up. So hold on. All right, BI's plugged in. What direction is up, you little bastard? Is that it? Nope, that ain't it. Nope, that ain't it. There it is. Wires out the right, weirdly. Oh, wait, no, left, actually. All right, so let me get it stuck to here. And there we go. All right, just clean it real quick. Oh, I should have cleaned these. Actually does make a difference too. Okay, so that's light on. And then that's light off. You can probably already see that the BI is a wide-angle camera. But it's not that wide-angle. All right, there we go. That's it. That's all of them. Let me quickly name these before I forget which one is which. All right, HD0 goggles are good to go. They have stopped DVRing. One of the things that's really nice about the HD0 goggles is they start and stop DVRing with the when it gets signal, when it just has static. When it has static, it doesn't record. As soon as it gets any signal, it starts recording. I kind of like that. Sometimes I don't like that because it causes the... you can end up with a lot of files on the memory card, especially like if you're just plugging something in and unplugging it to test it. But it's all good. No big deal. Okay, here we go. So this is going to be a whole lot of nothing, right? All right, nothing. Ah, okay. So let's get rid of 13. 14. Wait, no. Let's open this up in the same program. So this should be camera C, which is a Caddx Ant. Oh no. This is what I'm still figuring it out. Okay, this is the 199. Replugging in the BI. Nothing. Okay, so here we go. Now it's going to be the Caddx Ant. Hey. The file moving. Look at it. Did you see it moving left and right? That was really weird. What the hell was that about? Don't know. Don't care. Screenshot number 1. Play it. Lights off. Screenshot number 2. Caddx Ant. All right. So we've got... Where's the other screenshot? There it is. Okay. So we're going to go 1 dash Caddx Ant. And then 2 dash Caddx Ant. Great. And where did the folder go? Where'd it go? There it is. I'm going to throw it on the other monitor. All right, cool. Caddx Ant, good to go. Oh, man, that's a new feature in OS X that I have not figured out a way to turn off, and it is real annoying. .png, eh? Nope, we don't need that. Just one of those. There we go. All right, Caddx Ant is good to go. Next up, we've got the Foxier Razor. Foxier Razor Nano. G. Yeah. 1.6 millimeter. Yeah, it says that on the lens, and it also says Foxy on the other side, so that's it. Great. Lights on. This reminds me of the CO3 a lot, actually. All right, so lights on. And then lights off. Cool. Beautiful. All right, so there's both of the Foxier cameras. I'm sorry, the Caddx Ant is Caddx, not Foxier. Never mind. Never mind. Razor. No. Foxier Razor. Oh, I see what happened there. All right. 2. Sweet. Stop it! God, I hate it. No, stop. Go away. Jesus Christ on a cracker. All right, Foxy Eraser is good. Last but not least is the BI, and it's going to be in the next file. 17? What? 17! Aha! BI time. Okay. Awesome. We got them all. Light on, light off. Give it a second to adjust. Great. All right. Last little round here. 1-BI. 2-BI. Okay. All right. Away we go. Oh, and now they're ordered in all weird. They're in a weird order now. Interesting. 199 versus the BI. Well then. Okay. So the BI has almost the same field of view. I wish the one wasn't all cocked to the fucking side a little bit, but still, if you look at 199 BI, 199 BI, the 199 is still wider. If you look at the top of the frame here, this basically stays in the same spot between these two, right? But then if you look at the bottom of the frame, look where the 75mm rig is on the BI, and then on the 199 it moves up quite a bit. So yeah, the 199 is still really wide. But look at the difference. Look at coexist in the middle of the toolbox, right? A big blurry mess on the 199. You can actually see you can begin to see what's going on with it on the BI. So the way that the 199 handles like the highlights is brutal. It's just, the highlights are so blown out. This is so much. Look at the top of the toolbox here between the eyeballs. Like, look at what a mess this is on the 199. BI is way better. What's next to that? CO3. Oh, this is a great comparison. BI CO3. BI CO3. So the color, the CO3 is getting that brown color much better. The BI is less saturated. You can really see it off on the right side here. These purples and these reds on the CO3, they just kind of go away on the BI. So the BI is not as saturated. Field of view wise, BI CO3, BI CO3, BI CO3. The field of view is actually very similar. Look at the door on the right. This is the CO3. The BI, the door moves to the right, so it kind of seems like it has less field of view. But if you look on the left side of the screen here, the edge of the second monitor, this is the BI. Nope. This is the BI. This is the CO3. There's a little bit less. See, you can catch the black of the actual screen on the BI, but then on the CO3, there's no black of the screen. So the CO3 is just pointed a little bit to the right. There's almost no difference in horizontal field of view, but the vertical field of view looks like. Now, see, the BI is facing up a lot more. It's hard to tell. What about the size of the toolbox? The toolbox is this big on the BI, on the CO3. Wow, okay. So here's another scenario. Look at the size of the toolbox. On the CO3, the toolbox is way bigger. On the BI, the toolbox is significantly smaller. And I mean, it's rotated to the side a little bit too, but still. The center of the image... Oh, that's the 199, sorry. BI, CO3. Yeah, the center of the image on the CO3 is much more zoomed in. So I actually like the CO3 a lot better than the BI. That's wild. I am so confused by that between these different cameras. How the total field of view on the outsides and the field of view in the center are like completely different. I mean, this is that pincushion effect that's kind of going on. All right, let's keep going. BI, CO3. Oh, Caddx Ant. Cool. Oh, great. These lined up perfectly. CO3 versus the Caddx Ant. CO3, Caddx Ant, CO3, Caddx Ant. There's a horrible color cast on the Caddx Ant. This like super green, and then what the hell's going on the left? The left side is all magenta and blue. What the hell? Yo, the CO3 is doing awesome tonight. The Caddx Ant does not have any extra field of view on the outsides. It's pointed to the left a little bit more, just like the BI was. Sorry, that was the Flywoo that I just pulled up. CO3, Caddx Ant. If I look at the width of the toolbox, this is the Caddx Ant. CO3. CO3 again, the toolbox is bigger. The total field of view looks like it's about the same, but the toolbox is bigger on the CO3. So it's the center of the image is zoomed in a little bit more. CO3, Caddx Ant, and then if we look at like the detail, look at like coexist, the detail that's pretty damn blurry. CO3, still pretty blurry. Nut grabber, you can't really read anything. Oh, now that's interesting. On the Caddx Ant, you can kind of... it still looks pretty bad. The Caddx Ant... that's interesting. It's more saturated in the center of the image, but then off on the right, they look very similar in terms of saturation. The Caddx Ant, the next one down, is the Flywoo camera. Watch this. The Caddx Ant is similar to the Flywoo camera in terms of the saturation. Man. CO3, Caddx Ant, CO3, Caddx Ant, CO3, Caddx Ant, CO3, Caddx Ant. Damn. What else do we have? This is the Flywoo Nano. Foxier Razor. Here we go. Great. Flywoo Nano, Foxier Razor. Flywoo Nano, Razor. Flywoo, Razor. Flywoo, Razor. Okay, so the Razor is wider for sure. Look at the left side of the screen, the monitor. A little bit less with the Flywoo Nano. A little bit more with the Razor. Look at how blurry this is over here, though. What the shit? Look at this. It's super blurry off on the left. Whoops, sorry. The center is not necessarily like that, but boy, the left side of the Razor is really blurry. Back up to the Flywoo Nano. Same thing on the right side. Look how blurry the Razor is off on the right here. Nano, sorry, Flywoo, Foxier, Flywoo, Foxier. Even the center. The Razor is really blurry. There's a definite difference in sharpness on the Flywoo. And it could be artificial sharpness, but I don't know. This whole image looks soft, right? Foxier Razor, Flywoo Nano. Razor, Nano. This is just very soft in here. If you look at like the CiottiFPV right here above the clear 75mm rig. Oops, sorry. You can actually like make it out there. Like I can actually see the C, the I, the O, the T. Whereas here, the C looks like an O, and then the rest of it is just a big blurry mess. So the Foxier Razor gets a thumbs down on that one. And then here's the RunCam Nano 3, and I think that's pretty much it. Back to the TinyWhoop Pinch. And now this is all the lights off stuff. There shouldn't be that much of a... it should be pretty similar. Man, these two cameras are pointing in completely different directions. That really fucks things up. Caddx Ant, Flywoo Nano, Foxier Razor. Yeah, again, the Razor is very soft compared to the Flywoo, RunCam Nano 3, TinyWhoop Pinch. Where are the other new ones? Here's the Caddx Ant. Okay, Caddx Ant in low light. This will be a cool comparison. This is the CO3, and then the Caddx Ant. CO3, Caddx Ant, CO3, Caddx Ant. I don't see a massive difference. Yeah, I do. If you look at CiottiFPV here, the CO3, you can see the C, you can see the I, you can see the O, you can see the T. The Caddx Ant, it's just, you can kind of see the O, you can kind of see the T's, but the C and the I are just a big blurry mess. Damn, dude, I've flown the CO3 a bunch, and I never really loved it. But boy, oh boy. Here's the BI. Again, if you look at CiottiFPV, there's no detail, none whatsoever. It is just a big red strip and a big purple strip. This is the 199. Again, zero detail there. BI, no detail on the magnet. CO3, definite detail there. Caddx Ant. Now that I look at the other ones, the Caddx Ant does have a little bit of detail there. Wow, the Flywoo Nano actually looks really good there. What's next? This is the Foxeer Razor. It's not the worst, but it's towards the bottom. I mean, that's the RunCam Nano. You can specifically see it. C-I-O-T-T-I. This is why I love the RunCam Nano. It might just be because it's got less field of view, but it's not too narrow for me. And then this is the TinyWhoop Pinch. It's kind of behind the canopy, but I can already see that it's just a big blur. Yo! Wow! Kevin gave me this rig at Castle Crash, and I've had it just kind of... No, he gave it to me at Rampage, actually, and it's just been sitting over here because until a half an hour ago, I genuinely believed that it really just didn't matter at all. But two things. There's absolutely a difference in sharpness and detail that are coming through. Whether or not some of these cameras just have the sharpening cranked up, it doesn't matter. If I can specifically see the detail of each one of these letters, if there's a gap that I'm trying to line up that's just a little bit too far away, that's going to make a difference. Absolutely. But the other thing that I'm really kind of confused and intrigued about is how different the amount of zoom in the center of the images. This toolbox getting bigger and smaller, but the outsides of the image not changing. You know, like when you buy a camera, they tell you the field of view. And so you look at the diagonal field of view and you see, oh, 155, that's pretty wide. 144, that's kind of somewhere in the middle. 155 is not wide. 165, that's wide. 150, 155, that's somewhere in the middle. And then like 135, 140, that's kind of getting to the point where it's sort of narrow. And so you read that spec and you're like, oh, all right, so this camera is 140, that's going to be pretty narrow. But then that's not the whole story. When you read the spec for the field of view, it's here. What you want to look at is the diagonal. So it's from here to here. And so when we were looking at the door and the edge of the monitor here, that's what realistically, that's the horizontal, because they were here. They were basically like here to here, right? And then when we were looking at the ceiling and the gray mat, we're looking at the vertical field of view. But once you look at both of them, then you know what the diagonal is. I'm completely blown away by the size of what's in the center of the image changing. That is crazy. And I don't quite understand it. But it doesn't matter in this case. Nothing comes from understanding it. We have a bunch of these cameras that are available. We buy them, and that's that. I have a feeling it has to do with the specific lens that each one of these guys is putting on their camera and the distance between the back element of that lens and the actual sensor. And like when you look at these, the reason why I think that's the case is that when you look down at these cameras, look at the difference. Look at the difference in how far the lenses stick out, right? The sensor for all of these cameras is soldered down to the PCB. This bit of plastic here, this barrel, none of that shit matters. The sensor is right back here on the PCB. I guess technically the sensor might be a little bit thicker, a little bit thinner, but yeah, realistically it's back here. Look at the RunCam Nano 3. The front element of the lens, the rear element of the lens, and then the sensor. Like, that is so short in comparison. But then look at how different these are, man. Like, this lens is real far out. This one's kind of in the middle. This is that Flywoo camera. Flywoo in the... Is this the CO3 here? Yeah, here's the Flywoo and the CO3. These two were super similar. This is the Caddx Ant. Can you please work? This is the 199C. This is the Newbie Drone BI. It just drifts out of focus for no reason. Caddx Ant. Flywoo. Razor, Fuxier Razor, and then TinyWhoop Pinch. Wild. Very different. Very different lineup of cameras. All of you that have fallen in love with the CO3 tonight, BetaFPV, in none of their infinite wisdom, in their lack of infinite wisdom, they have made that camera taller than it is wide. So good fucking luck finding a mount other than a BetaFPV, a canopy other than the BetaFPV canopy that's going to work with that camera. Here, let me show you. Here's the CO3 here. See how tall it is? It's extra tall, and it's not very wide. The other pain in the ass is going to be that... oh, this one's not on a plug. I guess they give you... the CO3s that I've seen have a... Oh, no, okay, never mind. There's another CO3 there. It is direct soldered. I thought there was a plug on the bottom. I'm thinking of this plug. Never mind. I was wrong. So, yeah, the CO3 is kind of a pain in the ass to mount. So the CO3 did really well. This is the Flywoo that looked just like the CO3. And what's cool about the Flywoo is it has the regular nano mounting, so you can screw mount this thing. So that's kind of cool. My absolute favorite of all time ever. This is the Razor, which didn't do all that well. It was pretty blurry. This is the TinyWhoop Pinch. My main complaint about this one was that the center of the image seemed to be zoomed out. What do we got? This is the Caddx Ant. I just generally wasn't impressed by that. The Newbie Drone BI, which is like sort of the most standard size and length. This is going to be the easiest one for you to find a canopy and a mount for. And then the 199C was a train wreck, so don't get this one. But yeah, unfortunately the CO3... I mean... Look, this is the BetaFPV canopy that works with the... A couple of the different BetaFPV canopies work with the CO3. They're okay. They're a little heavy. I give up. They're a little heavy, but they're solid. They don't connect the front point, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm now realizing that there are more cameras to test. There's the new FXT that comes in the Mobula 6 2024 that I've actually been really impressed by. There is the... We could technically test the TinyWhoop Pinch cam with the ultra wide lens, but like, you saw me fly that the other day. It's like it's crazy. That's like a That's like a meme camera as far as I'm concerned. And then I do want to test the non-purple RunCam Nano 3. So yeah. Wow. Way different. Way different results from each one of these. Damn. I can also test the old BetaFPV CO2 camera. I'm going to stick with the RunCam Nano 3. That's the one that impressed me the most. I'm very biased, and I'm very lucky that I have a few of them, because they are discontinued. But yeah, there you go. I didn't let you guys take your own. I'll put these screenshots up on the in a Patreon post. Create images. CiottiFPV.com has a link to my Patreon. It'll only cost you $3 a month to join. Support me, friends. TinyWhoop camera comparison. Sweet. I wonder if I can just dump this entire... I'm going to do the lights on. Ooh, nice. Thank you, Patreon, for letting me do that. What should I tag this with? No. Do I have a tag for test? Yeah, I do have a tag for test. Okay, it's going to be tagged test. And what do you beautiful bastards think? There it is, friends. It's waiting for you on Patreon. Support me or you won't get to see it. Just support me anyway so I can keep doing this. I rely on you beautiful people. Thank you. Orf FPV says final, first, second, third. In my opinion, which is different than everybody else, right? I do this stuff sort of live so that you guys can form your own opinions. If you think one camera looks better than the rest, if you prefer a really wide angle camera, your opinion's going to be different, and that's okay. There's no wrong answers. There's no right answers either. But for me personally, the RunCam Nano 3 is the king. It had the most detail. It might have the most detail because it has the least field of view, but it has enough field of view for me. If you're uncomfortable flying something that has a little bit less field of view, you'll hate it. And you're going to want to go towards like the TinyWhoop Pinch or the BI. Second favorite, I think, would be the CO3 for me. It was just like a really good all-rounder. And then third, take another quick look. 199, awful. Just the highlights are just completely blown. BI, totally solid choice. Highlights are a little bit blown, not a lot of detail. But it is a little bit wider. Yeah, man, looking at the... I'll tell you what, man, looking at the BI next to the CO3, that's brutal. I've always liked the BI camera, though. So, like, in real flight, the BI is kind of fine, but you look at this and you're like, Jesus. I guess my third favorite would be the Flywoo Nano, but, like, the Flywoo Nano looks exactly like the CO3. Not exactly, but it looks very similar to the CO3. Let me see if I can pick another one. Caddx Ant, I've never really liked. It's got this weird green tint in the middle, but then off on the left, it's all purple and blue. That's a mess, man. What is going on there? This is the Flywoo Nano. I think this is but I consider this to be the same thing as the CO3. Foxy Eraser is just super blurry and like soft. What's going on there? RunCam Nano 3, that's my absolute favorite. And then the TinyWhoop Pinch, I guess the TinyWhoop Pinch would be my third favorite, and it's going to be for somebody that likes wide field of view. Plus Jesse is just the man. The Foxy Eraser, it's just too blurry. Isn't there another Foxier camera? There's the Foxier Razor, and then isn't there another one? Is that another camera that I need to test? Ant Light. No, that's Caddx. There's the Foxier Razor. The Predator is too big and heavy. There's the 199C. It's LDARC. That's who it is. LDARC that makes the 199C. Cheatonian, yeah, that's very true. Cheatonian says BetaFPV's VTXs are doing its camera no favors. Maybe that's why I've always been, I've never really fallen in love with the CO3, because I've always had them on BetaFPV AIOs. Maybe the CO3 on a Happy model AIO is the move. I guess not. I guess there's not another. Hold on. Let's go to their website. Oh, they have airsoft shit. No way. FPV cameras. So this should be easy. We're just looking for the one that looks like it's taken apart. Micro. Now this is still going to be too heavy. Oh wow, the Razor's not even on here. Okay, I guess they don't. Whatever. Let me get a little bit caught. I completely ignored the chat, guys. I'm so sorry. Cole Power says, do you only use the Stream Deck for switching scenes? No, I also use it to start the stream, end the stream. I got a bunch of stuff mapped on there. Cole Powers also says, was the intro video shot in angle mode, or is that the stabilization? That is real steady go with horizon lock turned on. Every Day with Bruno says, thanks for stressing yourself for our sake. You're certainly welcome. Curtis Hayes says, 47 people chat. We're good. Cole Power says, shit happens, time to rip. Nick Bucas, thank you again for the $10 super chat. Chap, great. Super chap. You are a super chap. Thanks for the super chat, you super chap. Brandon's Wake Bean says, let's fly. Tiny Shark FPV says, HQ now has the ultralight props for 75 with a 1.5 millimeter shaft. No way. Where? That is good news. I'm checking Pyrodrone real quick. Doesn't look like Pyrodrone has them. Where are you seeing those? That's awesome. Cheatonian says, no worries, it's one of those days. Every day. Okay, got it. Every Day with Bruno says, check another place for super chats, PayPal, LOL. Did you do a Bruno with a $10 PayPal? Thank you so much, brother. He says, thanks for the knowledge. Thank you for the support, my friend. Cole Power says, gangly fan for the AIO. Nah, we good. Oh, I hope that the AIO getting hot didn't. Oh God. Belt FPV says, putting that ghost unit to good use you gave Bob and he gave to me at Castle Crash. Awesome, dude. Enjoy it if you're still here. McBuka says, I disagree. The Young One's the greatest series of all time. I don't even know what the Young Ones is. What's that? What's that on? I'll check it out. Brandon's McBean says, look at how much whiter the lights are on the 199. What's up with that? Yeah, it's just blowing out. It's just the 199's dynamic range is shit. They probably have the contrast turned up way too high in there. So the bright lights are just completely blowing out. So like not only is the element, like the LEDs are blowing out, but even like the area around it is still like way too bright for it. Yeah, the 199's got the contrast cranked up way too high, or the sensor in the 199 just doesn't have as much dynamic range. Technique says, hope you're having a wonderful evening. Oh, if you were only here at the beginning of the live stream. Cole Power says, straight lines look smoother on the CO3. Image detail is better. Flywoo has better sensitivity, but you can see aliasing on straight lines. Careful with the aliasing. With these analog cameras, like the image kind of bounces around a little bit. And so, yeah, try not to look at like aliasing. That's why, like when I'm looking at the detail, when I'm looking for the detail, I'm looking in complex shapes. Try not to look at the straight lines. When you've got like rounded shapes and stuff like that, that's what you want to look at. Because yeah, I could have, with the way that these analog images kind of move a little bit, like when I pause it, it might be like shifted one way or the other. I don't know. We could maybe do this test again with little chunks of video, but then I would have to drop everything into Premiere. Demo FPV says, so is the new hummingbird a nimimno issue? It is indeed. Is there something they need to fix, or NewbieDrone needs to fix? I've talked to NewbieDrone more about it. Apparently there are different crystal oscillators that are tuned slightly differently. And they basically offered for me to send them the hummingbirds back, and they would remove the current crystal oscillator that's on it and put in one that's tuned slightly differently. I told them to hold off because I'm buying the Radiomaster Nomad stuff. I haven't put my order in yet, though, because I remembered that Radiomaster, Vivian from Radiomaster messaged me forever ago. So I messaged Radiomaster. I said, hey, Vivian talked to me, but then we never got it done. I'm about to buy the Nomad stuff. Any interest in working together on like a sponsored video a sponsored live stream where I take everything off of Crossfire and move it over to Nomad, and I haven't heard back. I'm gonna give him like another day, and then I'm just gonna say to hell with it and order the stuff. The Nomad module is not bad. It's like $40. So I'll probably just end up buying it. But yeah, the new Hummingbird version 3.1s will not bind to the nimimno module. Most other modules seem fine. Apparently this is the only one that's having a problem. Cheetonian, thank you again for the $5 super chat. Cole Powers says, wider versus narrower. There are ways to generate arbitrary lens warp, but they look weird. Rectilinear and fisheye are most common. Zoe 101 says, Stevie Wonder. I didn't get super deep into fisheye and all that fun shit when I was into shooting stills. But there are really good... I actually have one here. I just remembered that I have it. This would have been awesome to use. We might do a version 2 of this testing once I get those other cameras fired up. But there's stuff like this where you can really nerd out on how the different cameras... Like, I would really want to zoom it in on this center part that's got like the grid. The other way to do it is just to look at an actual grid, and you look at how the straight lines kind of warp in the corners versus in the middle. So yeah, I should have used this tonight. But because you know what's nice about this is it's a piece of paper, so I could have held this up to each camera so that it's to take field of view out of the equation, right? Hold it up to the camera so that it's full screen, and that would remove, yeah. So we will, maybe we'll redo this. I don't know. I don't know if we have to go this nerdy with it, because there's such a difference between these cameras, and there's a couple of them that it's just like, yeah, definitely not. So yeah, I don't really know if we have to go much deeper. I definitely want to check one of the other RunCam Nano 3s. There's also the RunCam Nano 4. That's another. So there's like 4 more cameras that I would kind of like to test. Damn. How are there that many TinyWhoop cameras? That's ridiculous. We'll see. No promises. Thrash FPV says, if I use TinyWhoop LEDs that are rated for 1S, could I wire it to 5 volt on a 2S rig since it's only Yep, almost certainly you could do that. Cole Power says the pinch seems to be a bit more linear and less fisheye. Similar FOV though. Yeah, but man, the center of that image is just so zoomed out. That's wild. Uriel says there is a tool for it. I wonder what we were talking about back then. Hey, where are my timestamps? There we go. Got that turned back on. Islander FPV says, do you know if the Flywoo nano camera would fit in the BetaFPV Meteor fixed camera mount canopy setup? No, it's too wide. It's only gonna be 14 millimeter mount. It's a weird setup. Yeah, you're gonna have to screw mount that. There are a bunch of canopies that accept the screw mounts though. Newbie Drone has the new Goober canopy that's got the screw mounts in it, and there's at least one other one, but yeah, just look around for TinyWhoop canopies and you'll see if they have screws on the side. That's what that Flywoo camera is going to need. Flywoo camera did really good. Looked pretty much just as good as the CO3. Based, thank you again for the super chat. Demo FPV says, CiottiFPV with the great life advice tonight. I wonder what I said at 12 o'clock at midnight. Islander FPV says, thank you for this test. I'm glad we don't have the weights to influence our opinions on which image is best, but now that we have, I'm wondering how the weights would change our views. They're all going to be pretty similar. The RunCam Nano 3 is obviously going to be the lightest. The Flywoo camera is probably going to be the heaviest because it has the brass inserts in it to screw into. So that's, and then you're going to have to run screws through the canopy. So yeah, the Flywoo camera is definitely going to be the heaviest. The Caddx Ant has the plastic bastards on top here that are going to weigh a little bit. So that's going to be a little bit heavier. The Newbie Drone BI, the 199, the CO3, and the TinyWhoop Pinch are all going to be very, very similar in weight. And then the Foxier Razor is going to be a little bit heavier. But yeah, most of these are going to be very, very similar in weight. But yeah, lightest always RunCam Nano 3. And then, yeah, the majority of these are going to be roughly the same weight. The CO3... Now, see, the CO3 is a little bit narrower, but then it's taller, so it's going to end up being the same weight. So, yeah, weights are... There you go. Cheetonian says... No, we got that. Last comment of the live stream is, it's Giddo, oh my god, says, I'm having a weird twitch with my drone. Any ideas? It could be so many different things. It can be the gyro failing. It can be too many vibrations coming from beat up or out of balance propellers, beat up motors. It could be the arms delaminating from being beat on. It could be a loose screw somewhere. It could be the AIO mounting is not set up properly. Your AIO is where your gyro lives, and the AIO needs to have a little bit of soft mounting. You can't have anything pushed up against it, hard mounting it. So yeah, check your AIO mounting. A lot of different things it could be. A troubleshoot like that very easily could take a half an hour. If you want to go down that road, over on CiottiFPV.com, there's a link to my Fiverr. One of the things in Fiverr is like build planning. We could spin that into like a troubleshooting session, or you can just message me. It's $40 for a half an hour, $60 for an hour. Yeah, we would need to kind of like go through it to really dial in. But I hit you with the 5 main things that it could be. You can certainly start checking those one by one to try to find it, because it's going to be somewhere in there. But yeah, there you go, my friend. Thanks for hanging, people. Oh, I also have this one from FPV Guide. This would have been really nice to test with the words are hard. In the immortal words of Evan and Caitlin, words are hard. Thanks for hanging, friends. Sorry that this was yet another technically challenged live stream, but try my best. See you guys on Friday. Here's some flying from somewhere, sometime. What is this? What's that? What's this here? Here's me flying something out in front of the house. 0802 30,000 kV 75mm rig out in front of the house. Love you. Bye!